Human agency is an illusion. This is the end of the story. If you listen for a while, you'll hear as I rewind and pull back the curtains. Hi, I'm Bry. This is an extension of my Philosophics blog at http://philosophicsblog.wordpress.com, where I write about philosophical topics that I find interesting. I also engage in political and economic conversations. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Let's get started. Human agency is an illusion. Think of life as a motion picture that's already been filmed. The ending is already known. The script has been written and performed by actors already chosen and hired. I like this visual, but it's not quite right. The end is not known in the same sense as that of the movie. It's just as inevitable, just unknown. Some might prefer to use the metaphor of cascading dominoes. And this might even play better into the illusion. Some unforeseen force might intervene and stop the otherwise inevitable. But even this is beyond our control. Like an action-adventure story, we're strapped into a runaway train, and just along for the ride. This train might someday stop, but we'll have had nothing to do with it. Enough of metaphors. What am I saying, why am I saying it? And what does it mean? Allow me to set up the scene. From there, I'll elaborate. For millennia, there's been a debate over free will and determinism. These terms have been defined in different ways in an attempt to sway the argument for or against, one way or another. It turns out that for the human agency illusion, it doesn't much matter, but it might still help to set the stage, so let's establish some foundation. I like to consider free will and determinism as bookends. Commonly, free will is the ability to make a choice and have had the ability to have chosen otherwise. That one can make this choice of their own accord or volition, is typically added for good measure. On the other hand, determinism says that everything that happens is determined by everything that has happened prior in a chain of cause and effect. Like dominoes falling one after another, so some event has caused another event since the dawn of time. Perhaps before time. Some have argued that random events occur in our universe. Quantum theory suggests this. But that these events happen, doesn't mean that we as humans have any say in the matter. This is what is known as indeterminism. Causes and effects are not so cut and dry. Some stochastic event, serving as an exogenous factor, manifesting as a pigeon, can swoop down and break the causal domino chain, but that doesn't afford us human agency. A little more background. Some hold that free will and these alternatives are either mutually exclusive, or they're compatible with each other. Not surprisingly, those who believe that these can coexist are called compatibilists, whilst the others are incompatibilists. What I am saying is that if we allow that this wide shot might have validity, we can zoom in for a tight shot on the agent and notice that it doesn't really matter. Some have said that the free will versus alternatives challenge is a pseudo-problem. I am going to agree for the time being, if only for expedience. Before getting to the illusion of agency, let's see why this situation creates problems. Without getting too deep, humans seem to be wired to view their reality in a manner of cause and effect. Moreover, they seem wired to attribute blame based on this presumed causal relationship. Oksana hit a home run. We should praise her. Raj robbed a store. We should blame him. Western society is constructed with this worldview, so we create rules and laws. We may even choose to codify how to rehabilitate or punish him. Or to reward her. Without agency, there is no cause to praise or blame. Whilst I consider it a pathology, for better or for worse, given the human propensity to blame, concomitant with the agency illusion, I don't see this changing anytime soon. There are arguments around quarantining bad actors independent of their agency, or lack thereof, on the grounds of public safety. Even this logic has serious holes, but we'll save that for another time. And now the big reveal. With a reminder that my intent is to not go deep, how can I say that human agency is an illusion? Let's start with the science. As a life form, humans are a product of heredity, genetics, and epigenetics. Essentially, DNA passes information from generation to generation. Besides determining our physical attributes, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, potential height and weight, pigmentation, sex, and so on, it also establishes our temperament, our base attitude and way we perceive and interpret the world. This doesn't make us clones or robots or automatons, but it does comprise some percentage of what we are. Identity politics aside, we don't have much control of our sex, finger count, or eye color. Clearly, we aren't talking about transhumans and cyborgs here. Genetics and so on aren't the only factor. Behaviorists will remind us that the environment and circumstances mold us too. Each of us is taught mores and moral codes, how to behave and act. We are raised in a structure comprised of family, school, church, peers, larger society, authority figures, and whatever else, ostensibly like a sausage being stuffed into a skin. Beyond the genetics that we have no control over, we are products of our environment. These things interact, but there is nothing of us that we are responsible for creating. Despite the motivational tripe, we cannot create ourselves. This, too, is an illusion. Delusion if I'm being less charitable. I'll reserve elaboration for future content. In a nutshell, you've got no agency. Every choice you make is based on prior events. Even something as simple as choosing to order a chocolate or vanilla ice cream in a cup or a cone, sugar cone or waffle cone, is predicated on some prior events, and you had nothing to do with them. You were a passive vessel. I'll leave with two relevant quotes. Arthur Schopenhauer tells us, a man can do what he wants, but not want what he wants. And as Galen Strawson puts it, 1. You do what you do, in any given situation, because of the way you are. 2. In order to be ultimately responsible for what you do, you have to be ultimately responsible for the way you are. At least in certain crucial mental respects. 3. But you can't be ultimately responsible for the way you are, in any respect at all. 4. So, you can't be ultimately responsible for what you do. So there you have it. I hope you found this cursory treatment interesting and informative, if not provocative. I share more perspectives on this and other philosophical topics on my Philosophics blog at http://philosophicsblog.wordpress.com. If you found this interesting, click like. Click subscribe to keep up on future posts. And if you want to be alerted when I do, click the bell icon down below. I'm interested in hearing what you think. Do you think you have agency? Do we have free will, or is everything determined at the start? I didn't even mention religion. Does that throw a spanner in the works? Let me know. Again, this is Bry, and I hope to be sharing new content soon. Until then, cheers.